जनवरी को जो हुआ वो अब नहीं होगा। इस बार कोई गलती नहीं होगी। दिल्ली में हम इसलिए नाकाम हुए क्योंकि हमने बहुत से लोगों को शामिल कर लिया था। खतरा चाहे जितना भी हो, ये काम सिर्फ एक ही आदमी को करना होगा और ये काम अब मैं करूंगा। मैं मारूंगा गांधी जी को। गॉडसे मारेगा गांधी जी को।
"161st day of Indian independence. The fire of partition had still not been doused. The trains from India to Pakistan and Pakistan to India still came packed with dead bodies. As elsewhere to the east and west of the newly divided subcontinent, the capital of India too was facing the brunt of religious and racial rioting. 21st of January 1948, a secret hideout in Mumbai. Freedom necessitated partition, and for these three, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was the man responsible for the division of India. Nathuram Godse, Narayan Apte and Vishnu Karkare had plotted death for the Mahatma. But after a failed attempt in Delhi, the trio escaped to Mumbai. Amongst the three, Godse was the one most consumed by hate for Gandhi. Their failed attempt to assassinate Gandhi had taken place just a day before. Godse's elder brother Gopal had taken the lead in that. They had hurled a bomb at Delhi's Birla House, where Bapu was staying. But Gandhi survived the attack. Godse, Apte and Karkare were apprehensive after their failed attempt. They were even worried about the police arresting their colleague Madan Lal red-handed at Birla House. They had to execute their plan before the police could sniff them out. Godse decided to take control and laid out his plan. Karkare was to leave for Delhi again at the earliest. It was decided that Godse and Apte would meet him in the park in front of Old Delhi railway station on 27th of January. 166th day of Indian independence. After pacifying rioters in Calcutta, Gandhi had come back to Delhi. From here he planned to travel through divided Punjab as the terrible killings continued unabated in that once united province. But when the situation in Delhi turned for the worse, Mahatma Gandhi decided to delay his departure. He stayed at the Birla House, and like in Calcutta, his very presence in the capital seemed to quell the violence that had been spiraling out of control. "27th of January 1948, noon, Mumbai. Two men get off a taxi at the Mumbai airport, their destination, Delhi. On the plane, they sit towards the rear. As soon as the flight takes off, the man at the window seat picks up a book. But his companion eyes the air hostess. The man at the window seat is Nathuram Godse, and the man beside him, Narayan Apte. It was a 3-hour-long flight to Delhi, and Narayan Apte could not take his eyes off the air hostess. At an opportune moment, he summons her.
Excuse me?
Godse lived the life of a celibate, and he used to keep himself away from women. But Apte was just his opposite. Apte had a roving eye. Apte realizes that this could be his last chance to woo a girl.
आपको पता है आप
The air hostess falls for his sweet talk and agrees to meet him at 8 o'clock the same night at Delhi's Imperial Hotel.
फिर मिलते हैं आज।
जरूर।
The hotel where airlines crew used to put up when they flew into Delhi airport. 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Delhi. The plane lands at the Delhi airport right on time. Godse and Apte take a taxi and head straight for the old Delhi railway station. There they meet up with Vishnu Katkar.
सामान कहीं नहीं मिला, सब जगह देख।
But their plan has hit a roadblock. Despite his best efforts, Karkare has failed to procure a pistol. An anxious Godse knows that if it can't find a pistol, their mission is over. In desperation, Godse decides to go to Gwalior along with Apte to get a pistol.
ग्वालियर।
The three of them plan to meet again at the waiting room of the Delhi railway station 24 hours later. Godse and Apte head straight to the station to catch the last Gwalior-bound train. Apte is most disappointed at the turn of events because he has had to forego his date with the air hostess at the Imperial Hotel. The dream of having one last fling with a girl has come crashing down as Apte and Godse go pistol hunting. 27th January, Gwalior, just after midnight. From Gwalior station, Godse and Apte head straight to the house of homeopathy doctor Dattatreya Parchure. When he opens the door, Dr. Parchure finds two old friends standing at his doorstep.
पिस्तौल चाहिए।
पिस्तौल? पर क्यों?
Dr. Parchure is not sure about getting them a pistol, but asks them to give him a day.
कल दिन में देख लेंगे।
After waiting an entire day, their mission's most difficult task is accomplished. Godse lays his hand on a Beretta pistol numbered 606824B and 20 bullets.
उम्मीद है तुम्हारा काम इससे चल जाएगा।
On the night of 28 January itself, Godse and Apte catch a train to Delhi from Gwalior. (29 January, Delhi). Karkare has booked a room at the old Delhi Railway guest house, room number 6. The three conspirators are excited that they had been able to complete the first part of their plan so smoothly.
कैसे हो आपने? बैठो बैठो।
And it is now time to plan their next move. But first, the pistol and second, Godse's shooting skills need to be tested. Delhi is teeming with refugees, and the would-be assassins have to look hard to find a secluded spot where they can run their tests. They zero in on a spot that suits their purpose, a deserted jungle patch behind Birla Mandir. The tests are a success. Not only does the pistol work, but to their utter amazement they realize that Godse is a natural when it comes to firing a pistol. With their confidence boosted, they go back to the guest house to plot the final moves of their devious plan.
मैंने फैसला कर लिया है।
Godse announces that he would assassinate Gandhi the very next day, on 30th of January. The plan is that when Gandhi comes out to hold his public evening prayers, Godse would fire at him from close range.
पक्का।
Once the plan is chalked out and finalized, Godse invites both Apte and Karkare to have dinner with him. They go to a hotel near the station and order a lavish dinner. After dinner, they head back to their room at the railway guest house. But once in the room, Karkare and Apte realize that this might well turn out to be their last night alive, and they do not want to go to sleep just yet. They decide to go out and explore the sights and sound of Delhi. Godse excuses himself. He says he would rather rest. Karkare and Apte leave Godse in the room and start roaming the streets of Delhi. From the Delhi railway station area, they head towards Chandni Chowk and decide to watch a movie. They make it to the last show of the day, and then later, after the show is over, they go back to the guest house.
आपते मुझे बहुत चिंता हो रही है.
Apte and Karkare that night are concerned whether Godse would be able to pull it off. Would Nathuram's nerve hold?
देखते हैं.
In room number 6 of the railway guest house, they find Godse fast asleep. It is then that all doubt is driven away from the minds of Narayan Apte and Vishnu Karkare, because they realize that here in front of them lay a man who had nerves of steel. Because how else could one sleep the sleep of innocence, knowing full well that he would wake up to commit a heinous murder? The tension was mounting in room number 6 of the railway guest house. It was already noon, and the three conspirators still lacked the means of smuggling the gun inside Birla House. It was again left to Narayan Apte to come up with a workable idea. He suggests that Godse tuck the pistol in his waistband and then just wear a plain baggy shirt, not tucked in. A simple yet workable solution to their problem. And now the rest of the strategy has to be planned. It is decided that Nathuram Godse would be the first to reach Birla House. Apte and Karkare would reach after him, but would work their way to stand on either side of Godse. They would block anyone who tried to interfere with Godse when he is firing his pistol at Gandhi. It is almost time to leave, but in their excitement, the three men have forgotten to eat. Godse checks the time and goes in to check into the baggy shirt and trouser he would wear to build a house. After changing, Godse with great care loads his pistol and sticks it into his waistband. It is time to go.
समय हो गया, चलता हूँ.
But Godse suddenly feels an urge to eat peanuts.
मेरा दिल मूंगफली खाने को चाह रहा है.
बस इतनी सी ख्वाहिश अभी पूरी कर देते हैं. आपते हाँ हाँ अभी कराता हूँ ना. लो भाई, आ गई आपकी मूंगफली.
Apte and Karkare with some difficulty manage to get a bag of peanuts, and the three share it amongst themselves. At 3 p.m. on 30th of January 1948, Nathuram Godse hugs Narayan Apte and Vishnu Karkare and heads out of the door. They take a taxi, destination Birla House. But midway, Karkare expresses a desire to pray first.
मैं सोच रहा हूँ बिरला हाउस जाने से पहले भगवान के दर्शन कर लिए जाए. हाँ ठीक है.
And so the taxi turns towards Birla Mandir. At Birla Mandir, Apte and Karkare go inside. Godse waits in the park, outside the temple. It is 4:30 when Apte and Karkare come back. There is no more time to lose. Godse hurriedly leaves. He doesn't look back, and he keeps walking towards Birla House. Exactly 5 minutes after Nathuram Godse, Apte and Karkare start walking towards Birla House. They are scared of what might happen if security is tight and the pistol found in the possession of Godse. There are guards stationed at the gate. The two conspirators are not frisked, and all seems calm and normal. They breathe a sigh of relief because this means that Godse is in with his pistol undetected. In the garden, they see Godse standing in the crowd. Their eyes meet, and as per plan, Apte and Karkare go and take position beside the main assassin. And the wait begins. As the clock ticks away, Apte and Karkare begin fidgeting, but Godse is all calm and focused. Time 5:15. The Mahatma had always been very fussy about time, and every evening the prayers began dot at 5. But not on this day. For the first time, prayers would begin late. In the garden, the crowd waits patiently for Gandhi to emerge. In his room, Mahatma Gandhi is spinning the charkha and talking to Sardar Patel.
जिस आजादी को हमने इतनी कुर्बानियां देके हासिल किया है,
Patel is upset with Nehru and wants to resign from the cabinet. Gandhi is trying to pacify him. He doesn't want Patel to resign. Time was passing and the prayer was getting delayed. Gandhi is gently reminded about the time. Seeing that it is well past 5, Gandhi immediately stands up. The Mahatma says that it is time to meet God and leave straight for the garden.
ईश्वर से मिलने का समय आ गया है, अब मुझे जाने दो।
Today he does not take his usual route around the lawn, but walks across it. His young assistants Manu and Abha are there on either side. As Gandhi nears the people waiting for him, the crowd starts parting, making way for him to pass through. Godse starts moving towards Gandhi. He nudges his way to a position where he would come face to face with the man he has come to kill. Apte and Karkare have their eyes fixed on Godse. Gandhi comes towards Godse, and at that moment, Nathuram Godse realizes that this was his best chance of shooting at Gandhi point blank. With Gandhi a few feet away, Godse reaches for his pistol but does not pull it out. He keeps the weapon covered in his palms. With Gandhi just steps away from him, Godse comes and blocks his way. As Gandhi looks up at the young man, Nathuram Godse bows from his waist, his hands folded in respect. Hidden within his palms is his pistol.
Namaste.
Taking him to be another of Gandhi's devout followers, Manu takes half a step towards Godse to ask him not to delay Gandhi. But the moment has arrived, and nothing can push Godse away from what he has chosen to do. He pushes Manu away with his left hand and points the pistol with his right. And then, with extreme deliberation, Nathuram Godse, with a firm hand, shoots Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi point blank in the chest. He fires again and again. In the shocked silence, the 3 shots ring out loud and clear.